Hello again and welcome to American Top 40. My name's Casey Kasem and we're about to count down the 40 biggest hits in the USA. These are the records you're buying and radio stations are playing all over America this week, ranked by Billboard magazine. So here we go, starting off with our regular recap of last week's top 3. At number 3 last week was Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. Number 2 was Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. And last week's number 1 was Glory of Love by Peter Cetera. What happens this week? We'll find out as we count them down to the number 1 song. And here we go.
Number 40.
This week, Billy Ocean's recent number 1 song, There'll Be Sad Songs to Make You Cry, falls out of the countdown, but Billy Ocean's still riding his wave. He debuts with his latest this week, coming in at number 40 with Love Zone.
I need you here in my arms. Oh no, you won't have to worry. I'll spend each day in your charms. Oh, I wanna kiss you all over, running my hand through your hair. Oh, I know a place where love is. Keep you warm night and day in the love zone. You don't have to be alone. Together we can live and learn in the love zone. Stars in the night. I wanna feel you beside me. Oh, just holding you tight. I wanna give you a little tenderness, letting you know that you're loved. I wanna hold you close to me, to keep you warm night and day, yeah. In the love zone. You don't have to be alone. Together we can live and learn in the love zone. Oh baby, don't you know I'll do the best I can to be good for you. But when love's a guarantee, there is no mystery. You'll never be a stranger out there on your own in the love zone. Come with me, baby. Your love made the difference in my life. You'll never be alone. You don't have to be alone. Together we can live and learn in the love zone.
Debuting at number 40 with his 8th top 40 hit, Billy Ocean and Love Zone. At number 39 is Who's Johnny by El DeBarge. El says that when he was growing up, he used to listen to a lot of stars on the famous Motown label, like the Jacksons, Marvin Gaye, and Stevie Wonder. And now 25-year-old El DeBarge records for the label of his idols, Motown. He says, quote, "It makes you feel privileged to be with a company that's done what Motown has done." End of quote. At number 39, here's El DeBarge with his recent number 3 smash, Who's Johnny? Falling from 27 to 39, El DeBarge and Who's Johnny from the movie Short Circuit. Two listeners want to know what's the most frequently used song title in Top 40 history. Well, it was a song title shared by 6 different hit songs, including hits by Chris Montez, Aretha Franklin, and Blondie. A song title that could have been a slogan for the phone company. Details coming up.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
We're on our way to the #1 song in the USA. Here's a song that reached number 9, now tumbling from 20 to 38. Your Wildest Dreams, the Moody Blues.
Once upon a time, once when you were mine,
I wonder if you still remember once upon a time in your wildest dream. When the music plays, when the words are touched with sorrow, when the music plays, I hear the sound I had to follow once upon a time. Once beneath the stars, the universe was ours. Love was all we knew, and all I knew was you. I wonder if you know, I wonder if you think about once upon a time in your wildest dream. When the music plays, when the words are touched with sorrow, when the music plays, when the music plays, I hear the sound I had to follow once upon a time. Once upon a time. Once when you were mine, I remember skies mirrored in your eyes. I wonder where you are. I wonder if you think about me once upon a time in your wildest dream.
Falling 18 notches to number 38 in our countdown, Your Wildest Dreams by the Moody Blues. This is Casey on American Top 40. And now, let's answer that question about hits sharing the same song title. Two listeners, Richard Shemko in Gagetown, Michigan, and Pamela Stewart in Barrett, West Virginia, want to know, what's the most frequently used Top 40 song title in the history of the charts? Well, it was a song title shared by 6 different Top 40 songs. Hits by Al Green, Chris Montez, Johnny Mathis, the group Sky, Aretha Franklin, and the group Blondie. The song title they shared is what you might say to someone you wanted to have get in touch with you. Here's a little piece of each of those 6 songs all strung together.
Call me if your arms are lonely. Call me, don't be afraid, you can call me.
Call me, call me, call me now. Call me, come back home. Call me, on the line. Call me anytime. Call me if you need someone to talk to.
Call Me. That was the title of 6 different Top 40 hits, pieces of which we just heard. In order, Johnny Mathis, Chris Montez, Aretha Franklin, Al Green, the number 1 hit by Blondie, and the most recent Call Me by the group Sky. And there's your answer, Richard and Pamela. The song title that's hit the Top 40 the most as the title of 6 different hits. Call Me. Thanks for writing in. Now, on with the countdown.
Number 37.
Here's another of our 4 songs that debut this week. This one's by a duo from Switzerland who call themselves Double. The duo of Double debut at number 37 with Captain of Her Heart.
It was way past midnight and she still couldn't fall asleep. This night the dream was leaving. She tried so hard to keep. And with the new day's dawning, she She felt it drifting away. Not only for a cruise, not only for a day. Too long ago, too long apart, she couldn't wait another day for the captain of her heart. As the day came up, she made a start. She stopped waiting another day for the captain of her heart. Too long apart, she couldn't wait another day for the captain of her heart. As the day came up.
Yes, well, there we leave Casey Kasem from the 1986 August American Top 40 show, which we've just been using as a bit of testing music before we get started. So, hello and welcome to Haslington Online, where now we will debate the EU. And we have some excellent guests in the room tonight, 2 of them so far, but they are well prepared, I will give them that, because Nick has brought with him his own beer, and so has Paul. So if you are planning on actually coming round tonight, it's probably not a bad idea to actually bring yourself a can, because all I can offer is bottled cold water. So then, what is happening? What is happening? Just in case you've not been watching the telly, you've been watching a K for the last 500 years, a referendum is being held tomorrow, the 23rd of June. It's to decide whether Britain should leave or remain in the European Union. Right, so we've got that bit straight. So, if you completely don't know anything about it, a referendum is basically a vote in which everyone, or nearly everyone, of voting age can take part, and normally giving a yes or a no answer to a question. Whichever side gets more than half of all votes cast is considered to have won. But, do you know which way to vote? Because I feel like an ignoramus in the middle of all this. I feel like I keep hearing all these talking heads going, yep, 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 and it all makes common sense to me. But unfortunately, I don't know how to believe. So that's the point of actually doing this evening, to see if we can get a few locals in to get and chat about it. So, let me introduce my first guest tonight, manager of the Yoxall Village Hall, and extremely good all-round bloke, it's Nick Edmonds. Evening, Nick.
Good evening.
How are you? Why do you sound about a million miles away?
Good evening.
No, it's not your fault. Look, I'll tell you what, I've just gassed for ages anyway, so I feel the only fair thing to do at this point is, to be perfectly honest, to not actually start chatting yet. For 2 reasons. 1, to find out why Nick's microphone isn't working, and B, because we should really kick it off with probably this.
To let me know, should I stay or should I go? If you say that you are mine, be here till the end of time. So you got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? It's always tease, tease, tease. You're happy when I'm on my knees. One day is fine and next is black. So if you want me off your back, well come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go there will be trouble, and if I stay it will be double. So come on and let me know. This indecision's bugging me. Indecision may molest us. If you don't want me, set me free. Exactly whom I'm supposed to be. Don't you know which clothes even fit me? Come on and let me know. Should I cool it or should I blow? Split. Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go there will be trouble, and if I stay it will be double. So you gotta let me know. Should I cool it or should I blow? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go there will be trouble, and if I stay it will be double. So you gotta let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
Hey, just hang on a second, just changing the cable here. Well, there we go. That was a great start to the programme. I'm out of breath now because I've just had to run round to try and find a replacement microphone cable, which decided to die just when I needed it most. Anyway, where was I? The Clash, should I stay or should I go? And a little bit of the next one as well. And with a bit of luck this time, we can actually hear Nick. Can we hear you, Nick?
I don't know.
Oh, that's better. That's a relief. I told you that was a cheap cable I was using there before. Actually, it's probably from the last time we did it when Paul broke it. I think it was your fault, mate, last time.
It wasn't mine.
No,
No,
okay.
it wasn't mine.
All right then, Nick. Now, as I said, I'm a bit of an ignoramus on this thing. I'm so confused. I feel like I'm doing the okie dokie badly. I don't know whether I should be in or out or shaking it all about. So, what have you got to say on the matter?
Well, I can't say an awful lot from a cold start like that. I mean, do you want me to... I mean, it's really something I need to bounce back a question from.
Well, I'm afraid I can't
you
give you any questions because I don't actually know what to ask, to be perfectly honest, other than have you got
can start with...
Have you got any notes, any unbiased opinions on what you've picked up from people?
Well, there was a great debate on BBC earlier in the week, and they had three main topics. One was the economy, one was immigration, and one was security. I'm sure there are other issues, but those are in general a fair spectrum.
You reckon they're the three main points?
Those are the three main issues that we need to consider.
Okay.
And there are points for and points against. We could start with the economy.
Okay, sounds like a good place to start because I keep hearing people saying that it's very, very risky if we leave. because we have no idea what's going to happen. But on the other hand, people say, well, we still have no idea what's going to happen if we stay.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, well, that's covered the first point. Okay, then.
Well,
yeah.
if we remain, the Remain camp says it makes it harder for other countries to discriminate against British companies.
Right.
Or we can't be undercut by other countries.
Okay.
But they also say if we leave, this is the Remain camp, so if we leave, it will probably eliminate manufacturing altogether from this country.
Who's they, by the way? Are these from reliable sources? Because that's the big bugbear I've got.
Oh, the sources were, I can't remember the exact names, but on the leave we'd got Boris Johnson, Rosella Stewart MP Labour, and on the in the Remain camp we'd got the current Lord Mayor of London.
Oh, yeah. Whose name nobody can actually remember unless you're in London.
No,
it doesn't matter. It's immaterial. Yes,
it's
Thingy, the new mayor. Yeah,
I've got it noted somewhere, but I don't know exactly. But these were representatives considered to be authoritarians. Sadiq Khan, his name is.
That's the guy. Yeah, but this is the thing. You see, that's what gets me is a lot of these people that are saying, "Hey, stay," and all these people are saying, "Hey, go." They all are people that should be in the know. Why are they all coming to a different conclusion?
Well, that's a nice question. Why are they all coming to a different conclusion?
You like that one?
Well, nobody's entirely sure of all the facts. That's for sure.
Yeah, especially me.
And facts can be interpreted in many different ways. So people are doing what everybody does when the issues are too big for them to comprehend.
Yeah.
They rely on experts. And if the experts tell them to do one thing, they'll follow those. And it's really down to who you trust. If the experts tell you to do the opposite, you might trust those experts better than the other experts. But to try and analyse the underlying facts for yourself is a monumental task, which is why you've got to rely on second-hand opinion.
Which is why I find it very difficult. They're actually putting this job in our hands. I mean, didn't we elect a bunch of people that are supposed to know what they're doing to make these decisions for us? We've trusted them on everything else so far.
Yes, I mean, they have made these decisions for us. If you follow the route through over time, when we joined the common market in 1973, where we had a referendum, apparently, although I don't remember it.
Well, yeah, apparently it was a long time ago. In fact, the reason why we're actually having this referendum is because the Prime Minister, that's David Cameron, just in case his name slipped your mind, promised to hold one if he won the 2015 general election, in response to growing calls from his own Conservative MPs and the UK Independence Party, or UKIP, as they're known, because he can't fit all that in a badge, apparently. Now, they argued that Britain had not had a say since 1975, when it voted to stay in the EU in a referendum. And now the thing is, this is the biggest problem. The EU has actually changed an awful lot since then, gaining more control of our daily lives, they argued. So Mr. Cameron said, it is time for the British people to have their say. That's not a very good impression of him, but anyway. And it's time to settle this European question in British politics.
So that's why
he
opted for a referendum to split, as you quite rightly say, Colin, to heal the rift in his own party and to put to bed these UKIP people once and for all, because he wants the British public to say, yes, we want to be in. But the point I would like to make is that from 1975 onwards, successive governments have got us deeper and deeper into the EU by making decisions on our behalf, which is what we pay them for, and what you said earlier.
Yeah,
don't we employ politicians to make this decision?
The main problem seems to be that it's not just doing what we ask them to do. We said, can we join your club? And now they keep adding all these extra rules and extra things they're deciding for us. Is that one of the problems?
Well, we elected the government to make decisions for us, so why is that a problem?
Should the Prime Minister actually be saying which way to vote? Should he not be neutral?
Well, like any other citizen, he can express an opinion.
Yeah, but he isn't any other citizen, though, is he? He's the bloke in charge of the government.
Yes. Well, he's the leader of the Conservative Party.
You see, this is another strange thing as well. When it comes to elections, normally, people are obviously biased towards whatever party they normally vote for, and more than often actually stick with them. And usually, one party will have one view on things, and one party will have an opposing view on things. But now this is really confusing, because you've got half the Conservative Party saying yes, half saying no. You've got half the Labour Party saying yes, half saying no. Well, not necessarily half, but certainly not one party are all going, yep, we say no. And one party is saying, yep, we say yes.
Yes, doesn't it make it
makes it
difficult?
even more confusing for me.
Doesn't it make it difficult to make up your mind?
Oh, I don't know, mate. What difference does it make at the end of the day? Right, let's have a chunk of music from appropriately the Smiths. And if you want to join in this debate, we have got room in here for you to come and sit and join in. Or we can stand outside and have a chat with the roving mic.
All men have secrets and here is mine, so let it be known. For we have been through hell and high tide, I think I can rely on you. And yet you start to recoil, heavy words are so lightly thrown. But still I leap in front of a flying bullet for you. So what difference does it make? So what difference does it make? It makes none, but now you have gone, and you must be looking very old tonight. The devil will find work for idle hands to do. I stole and I lied, and why? Because you asked me to. But now you make me feel so ashamed, because I've only got 2 hands. Well, I'm still fond of you. Oh. So what difference does it make? Oh, what difference does it make? Oh, it makes none. But now you have gone, and your prejudice won't give you one tonight. Oh, the devil will find work for idle hands to do. I stole and then I lied just because you asked me to. But now you know the truth about me, you won't see me anymore. Well, I'm still fond of you. Oh. But no more apologies, no more apologies. Oh, I'm too tired, I'm so sick and tired, and I'm feeling very sick and ill today. But I'm still fond of you. Oh.
The Smiths, and what difference does it make? I don't really know, which is why we were trying to sort this out this evening. Well, I just didn't like a response from people actually coming and joining in with our little Haslington online, but what the heck? It just means we'll probably cut it short and go down the pub for a beer and discuss it down there instead. Unfortunately, we can't actually run a cable out long enough to get to the pub from here, but it's worth a try. I'm joined by Nick Edmonds, as you probably or possibly know, manager of the Yoxhall Village Hall, and Paul Reeves, generally known about the village type person, and the pair of them are very well prepared for this. Not the referendum, but very, very well prepared for this particular evening, because they both bought cold beers with them.
Oh, yes.
And all I've had to do is provide the cold glasses. In fact, if you listen carefully, you'll probably hear Mr. Edmonds just popping off another cop off his bottle. Beautiful sound effects there, thanks Nick. Well, I've completely no idea where we're up to, other than we've decided there is a referendum tomorrow, and there's a bunch of people all telling us things from opposite sides of the fence, of which nobody's got a clue which one to believe. So how do you believe any of them, Nick? Or shall I just wait till you finish pouring that glass beautifully slowly? No, he's
Most of
nice
them
head on that.
Most of them are telling us facts, correct information. But it's really the way you interpret that information, or they have interpreted that information and presented it to you, that gives it a spin.
Are they all facts, though? Because a lot of people saying, if we leave, this will happen. How can that be a fact? That's crystal ball stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Is that Paul's phone going off? Thanks, Paul. No studio etiquette, mate.
I mean, I can throw facts and figures at you.
Go on then, let's have some facts and figures, see if any of them are interested.
Well, I found a lot of things out about Britain, UK.
Yeah.
The fifth largest economy in the world, according to the IMF.
Yes.
The second largest in the EU after Germany. Of all our exports, 44% go to the EU, which is 223 billion, and 56 don't go to. Our exports go to non-EU countries, and that's 288 billion.
This has been one of the big questions, isn't it? People keep saying, "Oh, we're paying how many million a day is it? We're supposed to be a week. We're supposed to be paying to the into the EU.
350.
That's a figure that keeps getting bandied about. And now, the UK, we know, is one of the 10 member states who pays more into the EU budget than they get out. In fact, there's only France and Germany that pay more in than us, so I gather. And of all the countries which get the most, Poland apparently is the largest beneficiary, followed by Hungary and Greece. Now, according to the latest Treasury figures, the UK's net contribution for 2014-15 was 8.8 billion, and that is nearly double what it was in 2009-2010, so it seems to be going up. But is that really a lot of money when you consider what we get back?
In terms of money, I don't think it's a great deal, to be honest. I mean, not when you're looking at figures of 223 billion exports. Imports are also equally eye-watering sums of money. And that's paid in, I guess, in lieu of tariffs. We don't have any tariffs when it crosses the borders. So it's like us trading with Scotland. It's free trade.
All right, so our club has all got they've all got the same benefits.
But there is another price to pay.
Yes.
The price to pay is we have to have certain rules we have to obey that are handed down from the EU, right, affecting how people work and how goods are made, and we have to have free entry of immigrants from France, Europe, and the rest of the EU across our borders. Mm-hmm. Subject to certain controls.
That does, of course, work both ways.
That works both ways.
But more people are likely to want to move into the richer countries than into the poorer countries.
Yes. In-out for EU citizens was 184,000 last year, if you can get your head around that. And Britain's going to live in the EU. No, sorry. I don't know that figure. It's non-EU immigrants was 188,000. So we have something like a net gain of people of 370,000.
How many EU immigrants did you say coming in again?
184,000
a
year.
How many non-EU immigrants?
188,000.
So there's actually more coming into Britain from outside of the EU at the moment.
That's correct.
Right, so that won't make the slightest bit of difference then, really, to border control, really, if we leave.
Well, the difference is that for the non-EU people coming in, they're subject to more stringent checks than the EU people coming in.
So you're saying that they're likely to be more qualified?
Don't know the answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody
else know the answer to that one? There's nobody else here to help us out with that one. Sorry, mate.
I think that is correct. I think they're likely to be more qualified because they'll be targeted in the jobs that they do, like you'd be wanting doctors, nurses, and professional people. You do have to show through a border control your passport if you live in the EU. It's not free, but it's fairly cursory whether or not they actually look at your passport. It's they don't give you the same grilling as if you're not in the EU. So it's a fairly free flow. But having said that, there were over 2,000 people from the EU stopped from coming into this country due to the unsavouriness of the character. You see what I mean?
I don't know what you mean by that, to be perfectly honest. I don't want to look if you
People
can't
were
come in.
vetted. They were vetted, and due to intelligence, the border control people identified those people and regarded them as undesirable and refused them entry.
That's a new one on me. Where did you get that bit of information from? I know you haven't written all your sources down, and that's a bit rotten to ask you that, but I mean, you've obviously found it out from somewhere.
Oh, it's definitely true. No, that was on Tuesday on the Great Debate. It was actually so the source is the BBC.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. What was the first topic? We're talking about the economy. You actually mentioned, wasn't it?
Yes, the economy.
Okay, right. So,
but just let me finish that point on the immigration,
by all means,
and the cost to the country. When immigrants come over, it's not just the immigrant coming over and are they claiming benefits, because only 4% of them actually claim benefits.
Okay.
They're here to do work. In fact, 50% of the EU migrants have a job before they come. And if they don't get a job in 6 months, they can be forced to leave, although not many people are thrown out under that rule.
A lot of people don't seem to...
It's the pressure on schools, the NHS, the roads and the housing. Now, according to Ian Duncan Smith, we have to build 240 houses a day to accommodate the net immigration. And I've looked into that, and the BBC facts say that figure is spot on.
Well, that is certainly a sore point in Haslington, because there's been an awful lot of antis against a lot of the new houses that are going to be built in the village, and some of these I think have sneaked through, and people are going, oh, hang on a minute, how did that happen? How did he get permission to build those 240 houses down the road? There's a lot of people very upset about that. So who's going to live in those houses? Are you suggesting that the village might all of a sudden be full of immigrants?
I doubt it, because only a proportion of them are, quotes, affordable housing. When immigrants come over here to work, they're not necessarily professional people.
Okay. So where do they end up?
In Crewe.
Which is why I probably can't understand the majority of the conversations that are actually taking place as a wander around Crewe nowadays. But I don't know. But it does seem
when
like
I say
that
in
to me.
Crewe, it's not everybody ending up in Crewe.
Obviously not everybody. Anyway, totally unbiased. I don't know. So far, I'm still stuck in the middle.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I'm wondering what it is I should do. It's so hard to keep the smile from my face. Losing control, yeah, I'm all over the place. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. When you started out with nothing and you found that you're a self-made man, and you
that's where I am at the moment. I've got a handful of leaflets here which have popped through the door, although I don't think I've actually had the official one. Have you? Anybody of you guys have the official one? There was one on the TV and it showed a picture of a red one, didn't it? And it said, you will be having your leaflet. Now, I went straight into the, it got filed to the bin or not, I don't know, but I've got one leaflet here saying the official referendum, the facts. I've got another one with a picture of Jeremy Lewis, the money expert, Martin Lewis, the money expert, not read that. Another one, I don't know who this one's from, but this says the facts on it again. Another one which says, not sure which way to vote, stay or vote leave. And because it says the EU costs us 350 million, you don't even have to look on the inside of that one because you know what they're going to get at. So I'm still stuck in the middle. What about you, Paul? I mean, without actually saying which way you all want to go at the moment, I mean, do you know which way you want to vote at the moment?
No, total mass confusion, Colin. I sit and watch it and you don't know who to believe. Do you believe Boris? Do you believe Cameron? It's who's lying, who's telling the truth? Who's got the best interests of Great Britain?
I don't understand why anybody would actually want to lie because they're going to get caught out. I mean, what sort of lies are they actually telling? I mean, they can't just come out with a lie. They're going to get found out. That's the way I feel about it.
Well, a good example was one where the Leave campaign said that 60% of our laws come from the EU. And the Remain campaign said that was a lie.
Right.
It was only 13%. Right. The analysts at the BBC said, well, actually, both figures are true. It just depends how you do the sums. And the answer is probably somewhere in the middle.
It's a bit like a Lego kit. Then you can build a robot or a car out of it.
It is quite complicated because
you have to crack a can of beer right in front of the microphone, Paul. I mean, his phone's gone off now. He's cracking cans of beer in front of the mic.
Some are directives.
I certainly wouldn't trust him as far. Anyway, I'm sorry, Nick. Where were we actually up to? Because if I can just point out some more, not so much facts as information about what exactly the European Union is, just in case you're still confused. The European Union, which is often known as the EU, surprisingly, is an economic, let's see if I'm right here, an economic and political partnership involving 28 European countries.
Correct.
It began after World War II to foster economic cooperation with the idea that countries which trade together are more likely to avoid going to war with each other.
Does it only cover the steel industry?
Well,
when it started,
I read that it was discouraged us all from going to war with each other, which is quite a nice idea. But it's since grown to change to that. It's now a single market, allowing goods and people to move around. It
always has been a single market ever since 1973, when the Prime Minister of the day, whose name escapes me for the minute, got us all
in 73. Wasn't it Maggie back then? Was it?
It was Ted Heath. That was Ted Heath.
Yes, I think Ted Heath with his yachts,
bushy eyebrows.
Yes.
No, that's not him. That's Dennis Ely.
And he sold it to us really as a trading partnership. And there's certainly nothing wrong with a trading partnership.
No, I mean, what they're trying to do is to turn Europe into a United States, very similar to America with its own currency, the euro, and that's used by 19 of the member countries, but not us, we've kept our pounds. It's got its own parliament, and it now sets rules in a wide range of areas, including the environment, which everybody has to agree on, transport, consumer rights, which I know a lot of us don't like. I mean, lots of things like health and safety, rules and regulations. Now, who was it that was saying to me the other day, rules and regulations and health and safety? There was a street light out down the bottom of Slaughter Hill. And
we'd have to have a scaffolding to get up to.
Well, there's the point. See, in the past, a bloke used to turn up with a ladder, sling it up there and go and change the light bulb. Now, I was told the other day on good authority that to avoid getting round having to get the scaffolding, the roadwork signs, a crew of 23 people to stop the traffic and all the other stuff put in place, that they got a bloke to come from a different county who was still allowed to actually do that. He came from Wales or somewhere, and he was allowed to get his ladder out and do it because they were under different rules than us. And sometimes you think, well, actually, that's quite sensible, really. He's only changing a bulb of a lamppost. I could do that.
It might have been a small business.
But isn't the EU doing things to us like that, saying, oh, you can't send a bloke up a ladder to change a bulb?
Did you know there are only 6% of small businesses in this country trade with the EU? 6%. 94% trade within the UK. Yeah, they don't export.
No.
Yeah. You know, there's things like the butchers, the bakers, candlestick makers, or whatever,
which are unlikely to export.
But all of that red tape and bureaucracy applies to them.
One rule for everyone.
One rule for everyone, which in general is fair play. It's a generally good idea. It's up the standards and workers' rights and so forth.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that if we leave the EU, then workers will lose the rights, and a lot of
I doubt that's the case because these things have been now passed into English law. So for them to lose those benefits, they're going to have to be repealed through Parliament. So they will see that as going backwards. We won't be seeing going backwards.
So the EU make the law, and then we second it, and then build it into our own, do we?
Well, there are directives, and there are things we have to do per se because they're directives. But there are these other things, the name of which escapes me, where they set a target, and we decide in our Parliament how that will be enacted or put into practice in this country.
Well, if I'm right, in a nutshell, the Leave Party say they believe Britain is being held back by the EU because they say it imposes too many rules on businesses and charges billions of pounds
Rules cost. So no doubt about it. Rules do cost money to implement.
Only a bit cheaper to make up, though, when there's only a few people deciding instead of huge, passing it over to this other body to decide as well.
Sometimes they transcend common sense. And sometimes they're just wrong.
Well,
do you remember the case of the butcher's block, where butchers were not allowed to have their blocks anymore because wood is unhygienic?
Well, there's been lots of things like that over the years, hasn't there?
And it turned out that research showed that there was a benign bacteria in wood that made it self-cleaning.
Well, trust you to know that.
Hence all the coloured chopping boards and knives that restaurants have to have now.
You're going to put all these companies out of business, mate. They make these plastic hygienic cutting boards now. But anyway, back to what the Leave Party say. They say there's too many rules in businesses and they charge billions of pounds each year in membership fees for very little in return. And they also want Britain to take back full control of its borders and reduce the number of people coming here to live and or work. And one of the main principles of EU membership is free movement, which means you don't need to get a visa to go and live in another EU country. And they're also objecting to the idea of ever closer union and what they see as it moves towards the creation of the United States of Europe. Now, the United States
said we're not going to do that.
But the United States of America works quite well. I mean, if you go back in history...
Well, they all speak English, don't they?
No, that's just... In America, you go to Mexico and places like that, you'd be lucky to hear what's going on. I mean, there's parts of this country...
all right, now I'll rephrase that. In the main, they speak English.
Parts of this country, I haven't got a clue what they're talking about. They're supposed to be English.
Well, that is true.
But it works quite well for America. Originally, America, back through history, were really lots of different colonies. I mean, the North versus the South, the War of Independence... there's still a huge, great difference in America when you think about the Bible Belt and the way that people think north of that and south of that, and opinions change. But they seem to get on all right. So why shouldn't... I mean, you don't see bits of them wanting to break off.
Not that it's a bad thing, but I see that the EU has tremendous differences in culture. I mean, when I've stayed in Italy, they do things in a different way. Their culture is totally different.
Yeah.
And then their culture is completely different from France. French people do things completely different. They have a different attitude.
Are you sure you're not just talking about stereotypes of
no,
different
not
countries
at all.
and different people?
I've stayed in these countries.
You're not trying to say that the French are lazy, for example, or the Spanish don't get up to them?
No, not at all. They just behave in a different way. They have different norms. They accept different... And what I'm saying is they're poles apart in the way they approach certain problems and different issues.
So we'll never mix together because of
I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is it's a slow process of mixing together. And because, don't forget, the French are proud to be French. The Italians are proud to be Italian. The Germans are proud to be German. And that identity, they don't want to lose that early.
I don't think anybody should. This is quite interesting, actually, because I've asked you on purpose not to actually say which way you're going to vote tomorrow. And I genuinely can't actually tell with you yet. I really don't know which side you're sitting on. So not much bias coming in there, Nick, which is a good thing. We'll pick another subject and we'll find out whether your yeah is going to be yeah or your no's no.
You keep telling me yes, but you don't mean it. You keep
by your eyes. You speak with indefinite style. You're telling me lies. You got to face reality. What is wrong with you and me? Why can't you free your honesty? Let your yeah be yeah, and you know be no now. Let your yeah be yeah, and you know be no now. Because I'm on my guard and I'm watching you from head to toe. So you better let your yeah be yeah, and you know be no. You keep telling me yes, but you don't mean it. You keep telling me no, and trying to lean it. You're giving me buts and maybes. That this will drive me crazy. Why can't you tell it like it is? Let your yeah be yeah, and you know me no now. Let your yeah be yeah, and you know me no now.
Playing it isn't let your yeah be yeah and your no be no. Come on, admit the music's cool if nothing else. I'm sorry if you've been tuning in online and there's a kind of delay and you've had to listen right from the beginning, because that means you've heard some of the music which I was just playing to test the system out before we went live. We'll get the hang of this, but we are using very, very old equipment, and I've not really been doing this online properly to a professional standard, as you've probably noticed. Although a message from Michael Johnson, who says, interesting listening to you guys from over here in France, and some great homework done. Thank you very much. Yes, I put a lot of effort into finding out the facts here tonight, I'll tell you. Those are the two guys, wastrels. But just picking up on the great Haslington EU debate with myself, I'm the ignoramus, I know nothing, and Paul Reeves and Nick Edmonds. I was kind of hoping that we might get some more villagers that would stroll down and join in the debate and put their thoughts forward, but clearly they'd rather listen to Jeremy Vine or Jeremy Paxson on the telly, and I'm certainly neither of those. I'm not even Jeremy Kyle. In fact, I'm more likely to be Jeremy Clarkson or Jeremy Beadle. And it wouldn't be so bad if I didn't look like Jeremy Corbyn. Anyway, I'm definitely not a Jeremy, that's for sure. But I did mention a short while ago that the reasons why, the main reasons I could see that people wanted us to leave. So I've tried to find a brief statement of why the main people that say want us to stay are saying. Now, those, what I can see is that are campaigning for Britain to stay in the EU, says it gets a big boost from membership. It makes selling things to other EU countries easier, and they argue the flow of immigrants, most of whom are young and keen to work. Like Paul Reeves. Fuel, sorry, that's unfair, mate. I'm sorry. So sorry. Don't never ad lib when you're reading something. It fuels economic growth and it helps pay for public services. And they also believe Britain's status in the world would be damaged by leaving, and that we are more secure as part of the 28 nation club rather than going it alone. But tomorrow we'll be going it alone. Or will we be staying? I saw a poll on the Crew and Twitch Riot Patrol Facebook page. Not that the demographic of people that actually look at that page and comment on that page are necessarily a complete broad spectrum of the people of Crew. But they'd asked for a, come on then, yes or no. Nothing else, just yes or no. And somebody did a count and it was something like 130, at this point through it anyway, 139 to leave and about 38 to stay. And I thought, whoa, that's quite a big gap. So
the demographics are completely different.
Absolutely,
depending on which part of the country you're in.
I was told on a very reliable BBC website source not that long ago that it's actually so close, it's unbelievable. In fact, just at the last minute now,
today the poll of polls put it 44% against 44%, with everybody else undecided.
44% against.
44% against and 4% to leave. 44%
to leave. No,
remain.
Can you be clear about this? I'd heard that it was swinging slightly to more people wanting to stay in the EU. Now, is this because people are getting cold feet? I mean, it sounds really great, like, yeah, we can manage on our own. We'll be all right. We don't need their help. We'll be stronger out there. But it's never been done before. Is this just too huge a gamble for us to take? Is it going to suddenly make everything, loss of living go up? Is it going to lose jobs? Is everything going to come crashing down? Is it going to cost a fortune to phone home from Ibiza on your mobile phone?
You need to understand trading partners, really. Who do you think is the biggest UK's trading partner? Who do you think we do most business with?
Which direction?
Anywhere in the world.
I'm talking about them buying off us or exporting to them or us importing from them. Or just generally?
Just generally. I'm not differentiating.
Well, sure.
And the answer is USA, right? Our top trading partner.
Both ways.
Yes.
We buy a lot of stuff off them, more stuff off them than what we buy of other European countries.
Yep.
Crikey, that's an awful lot of Budweiser.
And other top trading partners.
Sorry, Matt, I wish you stopped pausing. I keep thinking you've died on me.
Oh, sorry. Are the Netherlands?
Yes.
Sorry, Germany. Germany is a massive trading partner. And then the Netherlands.
With Germany, yeah, I mean, absolutely, yeah. I mean, look at the amount of BMWs and Audis on the roads.
And China.
I bet that's one way. I bet we don't sell Germany that much stuff.
And then when you look at the other countries in the EU, we do business with them, but it's not anywhere near. I mean, imports from Spain are high. Imports from France are high. Right. Now, I just picked up a point from the Remain campaign that said Germany has four trading partners in their top 5 who aren't in the EU.
Right. So
I had a look to see who they were.
You've been doing your research. I'm very impressed.
Right. The top trading partners for Germany, I don't think it was 4 out of 5, but anyway, the top trading partner in Germany is the USA.
Okay.
Yeah. In France, USA is 113 billion euros. France is exports. France is 102 billion euros. UK 89, because we're one of their top trading partners. We import an awful lot from Germany.
Oh, that's probably mostly cars.
Yeah, and then we've got Netherlands, and then we've got China. Right, and then we go into Austria, Italy, Poland, and so forth. Yeah. We don't actually need the EU in that sense. We could invent another club which included USA, France, Germany and the Netherlands. And that would cover nearly most of the trade that goes on.
This is one of the big arguments, isn't it? That all these deals that have been pre-set up that the club gets because they're all pals together in the same big club would be out the window and we'd have to start negotiating again. Now, surely, if we're buying a lot of motor cars from Germany, they're not going to suddenly say, they're going to cost you a lot more now, are they? They're going to be keen to sell them. In fact, if anything, what's to say we couldn't actually negotiate even better deals on our own?
That's an argument put forward by Boris Johnson, yes.
Okay. Well, as I say, I've got no ill feelings to any of these people. I don't think any of them are charlatans and liars. I've been really finding it difficult to listen to any of them and say, well, they're rubbish.
But what I'm saying is that there is a club of top trading partners that transcends Europe. That's because you say, there are 50 billion people in Europe we can trade with. Well, that's not the case. It doesn't work like that.
Are you saying there's only really a few of them we're actually bothered about dealing with at the end of the day?
That have the most significant impact. I mean, I like the fact we can get olive oil from Italy, but that's not top of anybody's agenda.
No. I mean, sure it is for Italy because they have a lot to sell. Is it?
Exactly.
And Spain. Italy make a lot of olive oil, yeah.
And Spain.
But, I probably only buy a bottle once every couple of 3 months, mate, so it won't bother me that much if the price of olive oil goes up. I want to know what the important things are, really. What's going to change me? I mean, where am I going to lose out? Where am I going to gain? Does anybody know?
Well, probably. I mean, it's a lot to do with confidence, you see. If we came out of the EU, the world, possibly, and investors in particular, would lack confidence in us.
The other thing is, of course...
Which means our stock market will crash and our price and the cost of the pound will go down.
But will it?
So while we're in the UK, the value of the pound doesn't matter, but when you go outside, it does. And that has other implications in to do with trading.
This is where people start thinking, hang on just a minute, I'm being a bit selfish, because there's an awful lot of me. I mean, I just said a short while ago, which I suddenly thought, well, that's a bit selfish. Will it cost me more? Will it cost me less? But I'm sure a lot of people must actually be thinking that. I mean, you know, down to the simple things like you go on holiday, what's your pound going to be worth for spending money in different countries? You know, you don't really want to suddenly think, blimey, me full English and me pint of Watney's at the Red Lion in Benidorm is going to cost me twice as much this year. You know, I mean, they're the simple things that a lot of people are interested in, really. I don't know. Does anybody know? I don't know. It's the year of decision. Let's hope it all works out for the best. And this is the Great Haslington Live debate with just three of us. But we're having a nice time, aren't we, boys?
Indeed.
Yes, absolutely.
I can tell you why Obama...
Don't start just yet. Well, that's a bit of a cheek. I've just been locked out of my own house because I've been sitting here watching Paul and Nick supping nice ice-cold beers, and I decided to decline for a short while. Thought I'll just nip in and get one for myself. I've been locked out because the missus has gone out taking the dogs for a walk, which is lovely. So then, the year of decision from the 3 degrees. Do you know any jokes about the EU, by the way, Nick?
Well, it's not much of a joke, is it? I was going to tell you why Putin wants us to leave the EU.
Well, go on then. Why does Putin want us to leave the EU?
Well, Obama sees Britain as a strong force in the EU from a defence point of view. He is concerned that if Britain left the EU, that the EU could possibly cave into pressure from Russia whenever pressure from Russia arose.
That's not really going to happen. I mean, Putin's not going to suddenly start invading us, is he?
Well, he won't invade us. He'll invade Europe. Or the Europeans might suddenly start wanting to appease him.
Is the suggestion that we're that much weaker without us that Putin might think, hey, I'm in here now?
Possibly. Possibly.
Time to divide and conquer.
See, this goes back to one of the original...
You've got to remember, the Americans, years ago, were very terrified of the Russians. You know, they didn't think communism was a great idea.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and that still persists today. Yeah, and
but things have changed, surely.
I know the Cold War has ended, and relationships are pretty good.
Cold beer has
East and
started.
West.
Sorry, yeah. Anyway,
With East and West. However, there is a general distrust of Russia in America.
Oh well, of course there is. I mean, but but surely all these things are beginning to filter out. You know, I mean, there's the racism and distrust of communism and LGBT, all these phobias and things of the past are all disappearing slowly away. Slowly, where the whole world is eventually becoming one big family, with, of course, the exceptions of ISIS and so on, and that motley crew.
We hope so.
So what was the punchline for that joke? I can't remember. I don't remember there being a laugh at the end.
Oh, it's not a laugh. You know, it's not at all a laugh. It's very serious.
All right. Well, it's getting on for 9 o'clock. We've been gassing for about an hour. It doesn't look like we're going to actually get any more guests to come and join us, which is a bit of a disappointment. So obviously we've lost out to the great TV debates tonight, and our little debate here was just too small.
Well, there was a great debate was on BBC on Tuesday.
Was it?
Yes.
Did you take notes?
Yes.
Okay.
I recorded it and went through it in fine detail. That's where I got some of my information.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if we can sum things up. I don't know how much longer we're going to do this for tonight because it's a warm, pleasant evening.
Oh, you want a summing up?
No, not yet. Well, no. What we really need is somebody we can actually trust properly. I mean, what we really need is Rick Astley to run the country, because you know Rick Astley is never going to let you down. He's never going to give you up. He's never going to mess around. You see, that's the sort of bloke we want running the country. And he's never. So, Nick, Paul, what do you think the main reason is that the people that want to vote Leave want to vote leave for? What do you think is the single biggest reason they're saying we need to leave?
It's got to be immigration.
Whether we can control it.
But
can it be controlled?
But you said before, only 50% of the people that are immigrating into this country that are coming here are actually from within the EU. 50% are from outside the EU anyway.
Yes.
So what it will do...
Which begs the question, can we control it even if we were outside the EU?
All right, well, let's say we took over control and we managed to reduce the amount of people coming in, if that's what we want. How many of those people are we going to refuse? Half of them?
Well, I can't tell you the answer to that question. You'd need Boris Johnson to tell you that.
Because if we worked out, I'm starting to sound like Boris Johnson. Sorry about that. I'm turning into Boris. But if realistically that we can't expect to stop everybody coming in from within that's currently in the EU.
Well, no, because we need specialist people like doctors,
we need specialist
nurses.
people. Okay, well, let's just say that, like you said before, most of those people that are coming in have already got jobs to go to. So let's just say 50%. So how many people are coming into the country each year again? What were the figures you gave me before?
180 million.
About 180,000. 380 million.
360 million together.
360 million together. So half of that is 180.
I think that's net migration because actually some of them go back again.
All right. So the actual net difference will be 9,000 people if we stop half of...
No, sorry, I misunderstood the figures. The net difference is 360,000 people every year come into this country.
360, the net difference, allowing for what's going out, right? Okay, 360. Yeah. So half of that are from outside the EU, it's 180. Half of that,
so we are controlling that, and it's still a lot.
So there still will only be a difference of 9,000 people. Have I done the figures right there? 180, half of 180 is 90.
Why are you getting the difference of 9,000?
Yeah. Because we're still going to let half of them come in, aren't we? Probably, at a guess.
If we stop half, you mean half the EU people coming in?
Yes.
No, you want... That's
calculating.
That's 270,000 are going to come in then.
Yeah, okay, but it's not all of them. That's what I'm saying. It's only probably 25% of the current net difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Which will actually stop coming in. Now, the other thing, of course,
and that may still be too many. We still have to build 200 houses a day to accommodate them.
But isn't it what like Australia do? They only allow them in if they've got a trade, if they're useful to that country.
Yeah.
Yeah, but their immigration is twice ours.
Ah.
They want to encourage.
They've got a bit more space.
They can accommodate it. I think they can accommodate it quite easily. If we want to maintain that level of immigration, we have got to put more investment into the services that support it. We've got to build more schools, get more teachers, and we've got more infrastructure, better roads, all the things that we should be doing anyway, but we need to accelerate it because our population is exploding.
But are the extra people that are coming in not actually adding more money into the economy anyway by paying more taxes, which will help to pay for all the extra infrastructure?
It is thought that these people coming into the country have a net benefit in gain of economy.
And are they taking British jobs off British people?
No, that's something I hear branded off the time. But a lot of the time you also hear people say, yeah, well, a lot of the jobs that the people are actually coming into this country, British people wouldn't want to do anyway.
Yes, but employment, in terms of percentage of population, is at an all-time high. We have massive employment in this country, which is why people want to come here.
But don't we still have a few unemployed? What's the latest figure?
Don't know it offhand, but it's the lowest it's been for all time, for a long time.
Okay, well, whilst there's still people unemployed, how come we can't find jobs for them?
There's always going to be people unemployed because you can't fit the right person to the right job.
Oh, spoil sport. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let's see if we can sum this thing up. We're not restricted to any particular... It's not like we're getting paid by the hour or anything like that. We'll do this until we've run out of things to talk about or we get fed up.
So that's an alternative approach, is to invest more in the infrastructure to accommodate the people that are going to come over anyway.
Which you'd have to do. If there's more and more people coming, you've got to build more houses, you've got to provide more facilities.
Yep.
Right, I'll tell you what, you may not have noticed, you two, of course, will have noticed tonight, but I've been keeping it very authentic and very old school tonight, by actually using proper records again, even though some of these had to have a good scrub under the tap to get rid of the pop, crackle, and fizz off them. But I thought if I could pick a couple of tunes now, if I can pick a leave tune now, and we can try and sum up the reasons for leaving, and then we'll do a stay song and the reasons for staying, if that makes sense. Okay. It's the Haslington debate, a very small one though.
If you leave me now, you'll take away the biggest part of me. Ooh, no, baby, please don't go. And if you leave me now, you'll take away the very heart of me. Ooh, no, baby, please don't go. Ooh, girl, I just want you to stay. Love like ours is love that's hard to find. How could we let it slip away? We've come too far to leave it all behind. How could we end it all this way? When tomorrow comes and we both regret the things we said today. Love like ours is love that's hard to find. How could we let it slip away? We've come too far to leave it all behind. How could we end it all this way? When tomorrow comes and we both regret the things we said today. If you leave me now, you'll take away the biggest part of me. Ooh, now, baby, please don't go. Ooh, girl, just got to have you by my side.
Sorry, but this tune's actually just a bit too depressing from me. What was that you just said, Reevesy?
The guy that the politician that looks a bit like you. Is
The politician that looks a bit like me. And which one might that be?
Is it Jeremy Corbyn?
Oh, thank you, so don't start that one up again. Yeah, go on. What did he say?
He said it doesn't matter who comes over to this country as long as they have a skill or a usage. He said, take a look at the NHS now. He said, we have doctors from all different nations, all different worlds, healing the British people.
Yeah, well, this is true. I mean, nobody's got any objections, surely, to people that are well qualified to come and work and do a job. I think what most people don't like is the thought of people coming over here with no job and just claiming money and getting medical care and so on. But isn't that a myth? Is that really true? I mean, do people just turn up and go, oh dear, I need an operation and I'm going to have to go on the sick for a year now? I mean, does that really happen?
Yeah, they're called health tourists, aren't they? And
exploiting our national health.
They exploit our national health, but I think they are a minority, But something really needs to be done to stop that.
I thought, is this just something that somebody's trying to put in place that actually said, but no, I'm sorry, you can't get any of the benefits and healthcare and so on until you've worked here for at least 6 months? Or is that just something...
That's something that David Cameron is said to have negotiated.
But has it been negotiated?
Yes, he has negotiated.
So that's the fact. So you can't just turn up over here and say, I'd like an operation and some sick pay, please.
I believe not.
All right, then. Well, that's completely opposite to what you said at first. Right, anyway, it doesn't matter. If you leave
I think
out,
we've been able to do that from day one. Okay. I don't think he's negotiated any better of a deal.
Oh, okay. Well, let's try and sum this up. If we leave now, realistically, what's going to happen? Anybody got any idea on that? Because I am still completely...
Oh, what happens now then?
Yeah, what happens if you leave?
First of all, it's a referendum. And if the Leave win the referendum, quotes, have more...
Yeah, I know how that bit works. That's what we're doing tomorrow. We're voting. But I don't know where to put my cross.
That will be advisory.
Bit like the England football team.
That will be advisory to
and they certainly can't get it in the box. Anyway, go on.
That will be advisory to the British government to say, we the people want, on the balance, on the whole, to leave the EU.
Yeah.
And they will take that into consideration. And
hang on. They'll take it into consideration.
Of course they will, yes.
So if the vote tomorrow says, we all want to leave, are you telling me that's...
Parliament is not bound by that vote. No way. No way.
They couldn't possibly say, I'm sorry, we've listened
We've already decided.
No, we're changing, you're not letting you do it.
Well, no, we'll possibly have another referendum until we get the right answer.
They can't do that.
Oh, yes,
Surely
they can.
They can't do that. They
could even ignore the vote.
They couldn't possibly do that. They're going to have to go with it.
And say...
They can't do that.
And it may take them...
riots. Hang on just a minute. We voted for this. We've had to suffer 3 months' worth of blah, blah on the telly. You're telling me you're not taking the blindest bit of notice?
Enough leaflets to paper your lounge with.
Legally, they can do that. But...
They won't.
Right, but it may take 6 months for them to press the button. Because they have to press the button to say we're going to leave. And that's under the Lisbon Treaty, which most people think of as like the last option when the end of the road has happened. They may be able to use the referendum to negotiate better terms to stay and then give us another referendum.
As I understood it, that they've
It has happened. It has happened in the past. The French have had several referendums to ratify
we haven't.
We haven't, no, but it has happened with the French. Yeah,
but they're different. Like
As
you
I said, they are very different.
I mean, a lot of people want to know how long if we
and then it takes 2 years to decide how we're going to separate. And then it may take 10 years for everything to fall into place and things to happen and so forth. We've got to negotiate trading agreements.
We've got a couple of years to negotiate the.
So things don't happen on day one.
Yeah. If we say hello EU, I'm sorry, we're going to leave. Yeah, we know it'll take 2 years. In that 2 year period as well, we are not, or we're not allowed to actually make any more decisions for the EU. We haven't got any vote anymore, have we? After that, we can't say, sorry, you're leaving. You do not get a say anymore.
Not until we invoke Lisbon. I think it's Lisbon, the Lisbon Agreement, where we declare you're going to leave. Once you've declared you're going to leave, the rules change. But up until that point, we're still members of the EU, and everything's the same.
Yeah.
Somebody disagreeing?
There's only one person on Facebook that's actually been commenting, and that's Michael Johnson. He said Obama is right, followed by the Cold War is still in play. I mean,
debatable.
It's a shame we couldn't do a phone in as well, because he's obviously making comments live as to what we're saying, and I'm not quite sure what that particular comment was about. Europe will deal with them as outsiders. Sorry, keyboard and internet speed. Travel visas, property ownership, health support are already in doubt here. Consideration for financial centre moved to Luxembourg. Thanks for your comment, Mike. Unfortunately, you made them at the point we were talking about something completely different, so I'm not sure what they're relevant to now. But thank you for taking part and listening. You're probably the only one.
What have I said that's libelous?
No, you haven't said anything libelous, sir. As far as I'm aware. I can check with the lawyers afterwards.
Yet.
I don't think so. Nobody's going to notice anyway what we actually said. So we were still talking about what happens if you leave me now.
I just told you.
And that's it?
Well, yeah, you've got You've got to negotiate everything.
So we just then sit around in limbo for quite a while, waiting for new rules and new...
Well, I don't think any new rules are going to come into play.
The
other interesting thing is if we remain, there is a body of people who think that maybe the EU have been storing up a whole load of new rules that they haven't let us know about, that they will deluge on us.
Yeah, I heard that one, but surely that's just a bit more scaremongering, you know. Would you like some more fear with your fear, sir?
Well, there's been a dearth of new directives over the last 12 months. That is true.
Are you saying that there's some new rules hidden in the closet, which they're waiting to decide
Small
whether or not we
print.
stay? So, in other words, ha-ha, you voted to stay, right, you lot, now you're going to have to suffer this.
Yes.
Okay. I'm still not convinced yet, though. Let's find out about the in crowd. Let's see what happens if we decide to stay in. I mean, you probably just touched on it a little bit then by talking about these new rules, which you reckon are in the wings waiting to come out, we'll see. Okay. We're going as it's an EU referendum debate, although nobody seems to be particularly bothered. I'm only saying that because of the no-shows.
I'm in with the in crowd. I go where the in crowd goes. I'm in with the in crowd, and I know what the in crowd knows. Any time of the year, don't you hear? How to have fun, dressing fine, making time. We breeze up and down the street. We get respect from the people we need. They make way day or night. They know the in crowd is out of sight. I'm in with the in crowd. I know every latest dance. When you're in with the in crowd, it's easy to find romance. At the spot where the beat's really hot, and we work out. If it's square, we ain't there. We make every minute count. Our share is always the biggest amount. Other guys imitate us, but the originals still remain us. We got our own way of walking. We got our own way of talking. Any time of the year, don't you hear? Gotta have fun. Spending cash, talking trash. Girl, I'll show you a real good time. Come on with me and leave your troubles behind. I don't care where you've been. You ain't been nowhere till you've been in. With the in crowd. With the in crowd. With the in crowd.
Well, we know where Brian Ferry is. He's in with the in crowd. We've been chatting for about an hour and a half now, something like that. And Paul and Nick are here, the only two residents of Haslington that have come for a bit of a chat tonight to try and clear our heads. And don't know which way to go still. It's impossible. Paul, had you got your mind made up before you came here tonight and sat down and talked about it?
No.
Have you...
And no again to the next question.
Still not sure even now?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Nick, I have been avoiding asking you this question all night, but before you came in here, had you pretty much made your mind up?
Yes, I think I was going to go for an out vote.
Has it always been that way?
It's been for a while, yes.
So it hasn't always been for an out vote?
Well, when I first thought about it, I thought I'd go for out, and then it's been out ever since I first thought about it. But there have been times when I didn't think about it.
Okay. You said it was. You just used past was.
Yes, but after looking at doing all
so
this
you were
research,
in, but you're not now. You're out.
No, I was out. Now I'm in. Now
Right.
I'm saying.
Now you're saying stay.
Stay, yeah. Because the main reason for this is because it boils down to the one issue of immigration, which is my view of how important of the issues. What's the most important? It's immigration. And if you vote for in, then things can stay pretty much as they are. Now, if we leave, the out people say we can control our borders better.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case, because we can't control the borders for non-EU people.
And we can't control the borders now.
We can't control the borders now for non-EU people. We can't. So I think what we have to do is either control the borders or build the infrastructure in a way that can support an immigration influx of 360,000 people a year.
What about a talk of more countries joining the EU, like Turkey and so on, which
that may even
allegedly are going to say the entire population of Turkey is going to turn up on our doorstep in a few years?
Well, I think Turkey is probably going to be a long way off from what they've been saying. I mean, apparently Cameron says on the one hand he's funding the acceleration of Turkey joining, and on the other hand he's saying it's going to be miles and miles away, so he speaks with forked tongue.
Is it fair that some people are saying that if you vote out and your reason for that is because of immigration, people are saying, oh, you're a racist by saying that, by voting out for that reason?
Why would it be?
Or is that more
It's to do with saying, can we accept the burden of pressure on our services by extra people?
This has got to vary, though, in microclimates, realistically, because in certain areas of the country, you never hear a foreign voice. But you can go a couple of 3 miles down the road and all you hear are foreign voices.
It's like being abroad, isn't it?
You hear more British voices abroad
true.
sometimes when you go on holiday. Well, depending on where you go, obviously.
No thought has been given to how and where these people integrate into our society. It's just happen chance, isn't it?
Well, they're also taking up the housing side of things as well, aren't they? You know, there's that many people coming over from different countries.
But they're not living next to you. They're not living in your spare room. They're not living down your road, are they?
Well, what happens?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we're in a little village, Haslington, where it doesn't seem to affect us, the immigration
Not really,
issue.
but people, they colonise. Yeah, they seem to colonise particular areas because they like the area. The work's good. They can get the type of work they're looking for fairly quickly, and once you've got a critical mass of people in that area, they'll encourage their friends and their families to come, and you get a bigger enclave. There's nothing wrong with that.
Is that necessarily a bad thing in a city, though? Because, I mean, who would knock Chinatown in Manchester, for example?
Exactly. But that's what happens, because they want their own tribes to come and live with them.
So what is wrong with somewhere like Manchester having an Italian quarter or a German quarter or a Chinese quarter and so on?
Nobody said there was anything wrong with that particularly. But the thing is, if you've got a small community, it may push out the resident population.
But will it realistically? Because, as you said, they do like to group together and they like to form a corner of town, and that's their bit. Traditionally, you do not find that happening in little villages, and after all, we're talking about this from the Haslington point of view, not necessarily a national point of view.
Crewe's a town, it's a small town, and it's very popular with the Poles.
Why is that exactly? What I mean, it doesn't seem to be any other particular nationality. There's not lots of Germans and French.
Well, actually, there are
and Italians,
Ukrainians and Lithuanians and Russians. I don't know why, but I think it may actually be the fact you can get rental housing there. It's fairly cheap rental housing. Suits them.
Perhaps the attractive leisure facilities or the warm weather.
Sunny Crew, maybe.
Perhaps not.
Just the rooms are slightly bigger and they can fit more in.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is that Crewe is a great transport hub for rail and road. And also for the Manchester Airport.
This is true. I mean, Crewe, of course, is known as a railway town. Didn't we actually used to have a railway manufacturing industry?
Oh yeah.
In Crewe,
Yeah.
do we build many trains there nowadays?
No, I don't think we build any trains.
Bombardier.
Bombardier
was once
yeah.
British Rail and BREL, and as I worked there myself.
500 people now. There used to be 22,000.
Yes, I was one of those.
Didn't we lose a huge contract to train building not many years ago to another country in the EU, which was funded by the EU?
Wasn't it Germany?
Something like that, yeah. You see, isn't that another disadvantage with being in such a big club, in that you've got to have fair competition between all the different countries? So a lot of the industry we used to have here, we've actually lost to other countries because we've been, better bids because of the advantages of the trading agreement. And all of a sudden, you used to build trains, not anymore, mate. They're building them in Germany or somewhere else now. And I mean, I've done no research at all what this at all. It's just something that I've just remembered.
Quite possibly. I often wondered why Sulo bins are imported from Germany. I mean, surely we can make plastic waste bins.
You're talking rubbish now.
Yeah, but how much stuff in this country is really actually made in the EU anyway? Well, I don't know about you, but I reckon I could pick, with the exception of the
cars,
with the exception of what I'm actually looking at now, because most of this equipment in here is vintage radio gear from like 30 years ago.
How many Audis do you see on our roads today?
Where in the day was not necessarily built, but I reckon you can pick up most products now and look underneath and it says made in China. That's not in the EU. We're buying stuff from China.
Oh yeah.
In fact,
China is one of our biggest trading partners.
Yes, and when I think about it, with my daytime job, the sort of equipment that I actually sell, I would say 98% of it is built in China. That's not come from the EU. So I assume most domestic and electronic goods and so many things, they're coming from China. They're not coming from the EU. So do we have to abide by the EU's rules and regulations of what we pay for goods coming from China? If we were on our own, could we not negotiate better rates?
The rates with China come under the World Trading Organization rules.
Like a man that studies research. Well, the big question is, if we leave or if we stay, will we survive?
At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. And I grew strong, and I learned how to get along. And so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your key. If I'd have known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Oh, now go, walk out the door. Just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll be alive. I've got all my life to live, and I've got all my love to give, and I'll survive. I will survive. Hey, hey.
Yeah, hey up, Jack. Jack says, hey up, Dad. I think he's talking to you there, Paul.
He is, yeah, he's everywhere.
Absolutely. Well, we'll survive. We'll survive. Apparently we'll survive, because Gloria Gaynor says so. If nothing else, you've got to admit the tunes have been good, or corny, depending on which way you're looking at it. But it's been nice to actually have a root through my vinyl record collection. Nick's obviously got a promise on here, because he's just packing his notes away in his bag now. So any final comments there, boys? What do you think? I think we've covered an awful lot of ground here tonight. I don't know whether or not we've helped anybody make the mind up, change the mind, or make it any clearer, but...
as Frank Sinatra once said, it's up to you.
Did he? How's that one go?
I'm not going to go. I'm not even going to go there.
I don't know how that one goes. One thing's for sure. If we do decide to leave the EU, I've pretty much got a feeling the EU are going to say, I can't stand losing you.
Called you so many times today, and I guess it's all true what your girlfriends say. But you don't ever want to see me again. Your brother's gonna kill me and he's 6'10". I guess you'd call it cowardice, but I'm not prepared to go on like this. I can't stand losing. I can't stand losing. I can't stand losing you. 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 I see you sent my letters back and my LP records, and they're all scratched. I can't see the point in another day when nobody listens to a word I say. You can call it lack of confidence, but we carry on living doesn't make no sense. I can't stand losing. 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 Yes, this is our last goodbye, and you don't care, so I won't cry. And you'll be sorry when I'm dead, and all this guilt will be on your head. I guess you'd call it suicide, but I'm too full to swallow my pride. I can't stand losing. 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 I can't stand losing.
Yes, all right, Sting, you've made your point. It can't stand losing us, but that is something we've actually touched on tonight, Nick, is what effect will this have on the EU if we leave? I mean, so far all we've talked about is what effect it'll have on us and what changes it'll make to us. But what about the EU? Are we going to actually be damaging the EU and the rest of the global economy?
Some people think it would be very damaging to the EU. Some people have even said that it may cause a domino effect that would eventually lead to the total destruction of the EU.
Surely not. I mean, we're only one of how many? 20,
well,
28?
Yes, but we're the second largest economy in the EU.
Isn't it?
No, second, next to Germany, then France. The second largest economy in the EU.
Sorry, Paul's just been taking some photographs and distracting me, which is very naughty of him again.
So we have a very important place. I mean, apart from which we put money into the EU, and they won't have that anymore, will they?
Well, this is true. I mean, we do put more in than what we get out, don't we?
And then we've got our trade relationships with Germany and Spain, and we've got to work out what effects that's going to have if they can't export £30 billion worth of cars to us.
Yeah, but they still can export afterwards. They still can buy off us. We still can sell to them afterwards. The trading is going to continue.
Well, the trading might involve tariffs.
Well, why on earth would they want to put tariffs on?
Well, because it's under, say, the World Trading Organization rules, which say you have to do 10% tariff.
We get around that now by being as a member of the EU. We can negotiate our own rates.
It's the agreement is under a different set of rules, which is under the EU rules.
Yeah.
Perhaps we have to find a different set of rules to get a free trade agreement with Germany. I don't know.
Okay.
But people are saying that we will never get a free trade agreement with Germany unless they're allowed free influx of people.
All right. Do you think that the average person in this country actually has enough knowledge or is qualified to actually should be allowed to give the vote? Do you think, it's been trusted to an awful lot of people that just are voting for the wrong reasons or don't understand why they're voting?
It's gone over their heads.
Yeah.
Well, from the people I've talked to, I think that's absolutely the case.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think it's about...
just one last word.
Sure. Yeah, go on then. Yes.
Yes, is what the bookmakers say.
Is it, who keeps kicking bottles around?
The bookmakers...
Oh. Yeah, go on.
I wouldn't say they're always wrong. They're always right, but they're very seldom wrong, bookmakers.
What did the bookmakers actually say?
Well, they think 2 to 1 on, Remain, 4 to 1 against, Leave.
Have you taken a bet on the side? Are you a betting man?
Nigel Farage apparently put £1,000 on Leave, allegedly.
Okay, and you managed to get through that without rattling those bottles. I've got some empty bottles of it. If nothing else, the boys have had a few beers tonight, which is quite a nice thing. So we are children of the revolution, guys. We'll find out what's going to happen tomorrow, I guess.
Well, you can bump and grind if it's good for your mind. Well, you can twist and shout, let it all hang out, but you won't fool the children of the revolution. Now you won't fool the children of the revolution. Now, well, you can tear a plane in the falling rain. I drive a Rolls Royce, 'cause it's good for my voice, but you won't fool the children of the revolution. Now you won't fool the children of the revolution. Now, no.
Sir Paul tells me that Deborah Johnson has said a rather disappointing choice of shirt because I think he's put a few photographs in the studio. Would you like me to pose for one, Paul? I'll get you a proper one, mate. He's put some photos in his own... And he's sorry, I'm not turning your mic on. And his own Facebook page, which is quite nice.
We could do.
And Nick, I would like to thank you for contributing tonight because you've done a lot of research and a lot of homework for us. Yeah, he's done a cracking job there. And he's still rattling the bottles, but we'll forgive you for that. And, of course, you don't like normally being on the radio, do you? Because apparently your accent changes.
He goes all northern.
This will frighten him now because I've made him put headphones on now so he can hear what's going on.
I've never been on the radio before.
Have you? You have now?
Yes, I have.
No, I'm going to wait till I start putting the transmitting mast up in the back garden soon, mate. We'll be all right on that one. Right, what do you reckon we ought to finalise this thing with before we actually say, Haslington... this is the three wise men. The three wise men's
hear all, see all, and say out.
Final opinion on what we should be doing on the referendum tomorrow, because I'm still really on that fence, but I do feel like I know which side to actually leap off. I think.
And which side's that?
I'll let you know. I think we need to probably carry on the discussion, but somewhere else we should take it down to the club. Is that good for
Indeed,
you?
yes.
Okay. Actually, if just on the off chance we actually have anybody listening tonight, it's probably a good idea to actually mention a couple of things locally that's taking place in the village. And one of them is, I will unselfishly mention the fact that the Cozy is a good cause this year is to purchase an external defibrillator to be mounted in a secure box that will be mounted on the outside of the club for emergency access should anybody have a cardiac arrest. Within a mile or so, you can be down there, you can get into that box, you can get the defibrillator and hopefully save a life. But they're not cheap, these things, to come by. But they have managed to raise just a gingy over £1,000 so far in about 3 weeks. But they've got to reach a £2,000 limit to get this thing fitted. If you can help on that and you're passing the club, there's a donation bucket in there. You can go onto the Cozy Club's website at www.cozyclub.co.uk where you will see a link to the giving page where you can go online and you can make a small or large donation, because the sooner we get this machine on the wall, the sooner we're going to save somebody's life in the village eventually. And of course, Paul, we should mention anything else. We can finish up with the What's On Diary that's happening this weekend that you're aware of.
Yeah, don't forget we've got Monkey Finger at the Cozy Club, an absolutely fantastic band. Lots of ranges of great music live for you.
When?
On Friday night.
And of course, don't forget Paul Reeves's game show spot where he does Play Your Cards Right, where you can win some money off.
For roughly about
Reevesy.
£280 if you make it to the top of our pyramid of death.
And our mate over the road at the Fox as well, Paul's refurb is going to be finished. I saw the guys on their hands and knees with circular saws.
Circular saws,
circular saws. There's a sore point. Yeah, we used to have got my battery charger. You can have that back when I get. Anyway, so Paul's opening up this weekend, and he's got a cider fest, and he's got live entertainment and stuff on. So it'd be nice to see.
He's actually got Gemma there on Saturday.
Has he? Yeah, good. Okay, so local lass, Gemma.
Yes, local lass.
Okay, so support. Don't just sit there in your house playing on your PlayStation and watching your widescreen plasma and your surround sound and your Xbox. Get out and socialise into the village. Support our local pubs and clubs before they all close down, eh?
Don't forget to vote tomorrow, because every vote counts.
Is there a vote going on tomorrow? What's that for, Nick?
I think it's for the referendum.
Is it important?
Of course it's important. It will shape our lives for the next 20 or 30 years.
Do you have any recommendations on which way to vote, boys?
Only what your conscience dictates. If you think it's going to be good for you, vote Remain. If you think it's going to be good for you, vote Leave.
Nick, thank you for your unbiased input tonight. It's been actually really, really good, because I know you've spent quite a bit of time
he has done his homework,
trying to do the homework, and you've been incredibly unbiased tonight, even though I think we've got a gist in which way you're going now. And I think Paul's going to get a coin out of his pocket.
Yes, I'm going to be a tosser, and I'm just going to aim the marker pen and go eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Listen, you stick to what you're good at, pal. That's the thing. Boys, thank you for coming down tonight and joining in our little debate. It was nice to see a few more people out the village coming down, having a bit of a chat, because I went to a great expense as well to put this together tonight. I went out and bought a spare battery for the radio mic, which we've not needed, and I bought a couple of bottles of water as well for any guests, and it just made use of it. Absolutely. Anyway, Aslington Radio is closing down, and remember, it's the final countdown to the big referendum taking place tomorrow. Just make sure...
Polling station at the Yoxall.
Polling station at the Yoxall. Thank you, Nick. Okay. Vote. Tonight has been a one-off performance from Hathington Community Radio. We'd like to thank our guests, Nick and Paul, for taking part in the show, and we are now closing down after the pips. Pip. 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 See you guys.